Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another review show. I'm going to do, a top 10 90s shows that I think were incredibly influential, not only for pop culture, but pretty much if you weren't watching them during your childhood and people were discussing them at school, you were kind of considered to be a little weird and odd, honestly. Uh, so we're going to start at number 10 and we're gonna go with Baywatch. Now, Pam Anderson pretty much was the main star of this show. I mean, there was a few other people, but I can't really remember their names. Honestly, they didn't really care about that. I was more interested in Pam Anderson. Every young guy pretty much was. Um, Number 9 is Mr. Tim Allen himself, Home Improvement. I think that show was incredibly influential as a child because all those characters basically went on to have great careers, including Tim Allen. I mean, come on, Santa Claus, Disney pretty much made him a superstar later on. Um, Now, number 8, let's go with Step by Step. I think that was an incredibly great show. It was built around family. I think that people, you know, to this day still watch it. Um, And number 7, I think, should be Family Matters. I think that show, Urkel, for God's sakes. I mean, did I do that? Who doesn't know that? Um, so let's go with number 6 now. I'm going to say Power Rangers because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, honestly, when I was third grade, fourth grade, I mean, who didn't really know any of that, honestly? Number 5 was going to be Full House. I think Full House was incredibly popular. I mean, DJ Tanner, Stephanie Tanner. I mean, Fuller House is on now, and that's kind of for the new generation, but I prefer Full House. I think that's a little bit more interesting. Characters are funnier. Um, Number 4, I would have to say Married with Children. Married with Children, Ed O'Neill, for God's sakes. I mean, Christina Applegate. I mean, you can't really go wrong with those shows. I mean, for God's sakes, 11 seasons. Um, Now, number 3, I've really had to think long and hard about this, but I'm going to go with King of Queens. Kevin James, even to this day, I think, with his acting, I think that he's still producing, I believe, his own comedy specials, I believe, still. And he's still in movies with Adam Sandler, so I mean, you can't really say he didn't have a great career. Um, Number 2 is Everybody Loves Raymond. I think that show again really developed, honestly, as far as character development. I think Raymond is really funny. I think his father is hilarious. I think pretty much everybody on the show is funny, including his brother. Um, Now, number 1, I've had to think really long about who I want as my top one here, and I couldn't really come up with a solid number 1, so I'm just gonna say it's a tie, and that is between Seinfeld and Friends. Some people like Frasier. I wasn't too into it. I thought it was kind of boring, personally. Um, I think Seinfeld and Friends need to be on this countdown because both shows, I mean, for God's sakes, won tons of awards. The cast members had great careers after the shows were not on TV anymore, and they're still doing reruns to this day. Hulu, you can watch all the seasons of Seinfeld, and Netflix has the rights to Friends, so I mean, you really can watch it anytime you want. Netflix, please start adding more shows. You took Everybody Who Loves Raymond off. Don't get that. Why would you do that? That's part of another reason why I got it. Um, and Hulu needs to think about getting the rights to King of Queens. Some people would say Big Bang Theory should be on this, but some people don't realize that Big Bang Theory wasn't even really popular and wasn't even aired until years after the 90s. So, again, that shouldn't even be on this countdown. Um, But what I want to say real quick is that I know that there's some shows that aren't on here, but again, I couldn't really come up with a solid one. I had to just kind of give a tie for Seinfeld and Friends. So, do with it as you want. I'm proud to have these shows on this countdown. That was part of my childhood. I grew up watching these shows. So I'm gonna do another one that's a little bit different. That's gonna have the other shows on it. Um, but much love to you all. Have a wonderful night. Peace, and I'll be back with a new review soon. So, and hit that like button, and add me if you want to. Thanks. Bye.